Hello, my name is Penny Hurt Saunders, and I'm asking Extreme Makeover to please consider FCCA and Apple Tree Daycare for Extreme Makeover. FCCA and Apple Tree are a daycare and a school that's ran from kindergarten all the way to the 12th grade. The employees here are basically volunteer basis because the school is running on such a bare minimum. The building is very old and is falling apart. The boiler works sometimes. Sometimes the kids come in early in the morning and it's extremely cold here. They have volunteers who come to fix up the boiler. The roof sometimes leaks. Pastor Jeff and Mrs. Davidson, they have a heart for the community. And with the economy in Michigan, we have a lot of the parents that have lost their jobs and are unemployed and displaced. And yet Mrs. Davidson will not refuse to educate their children. They are continually educating their children. And the building really needs help because she's doing such a great job. I wanted Extreme Makeover to help her.
Hi, my name is Mrs. D. Really, it's actually Mrs. Davidson. And I'm going to tell you my story of how I began what's called Apple Tree Daycare Center. In 1994, we purchased this building as a church and as a family and started a faith-based daycare center. But in my heart, when I started this daycare center, it was never to be for the profit of our church, but it was for the birthing of a small Christian school that could be affordable for people that are poor or that have no salary or something that are facing hard times that couldn't afford the private schools. We begin to teach children to read when they're very young, sometimes 4 years old, most often when they're 5 years old. And we have done, I think, an exceptional job of teaching children to read at a very young age. One of the problems that we have is the building. It is not adequate. We have 2 temporary classrooms in the back that have been there that were never meant to be permanent buildings. They have poor windows, steel walls. They have leaks in between the main structure and the temporary buildings. We have to pass through a kitchen in order to get to those buildings, and because of that, the state of Michigan will not allow me to ever cook in it.
Hello, my name is Matthew Fogel. My daughter Brianna Fogel has been attending here at FCCA for the last 4 years. She started at the age of 4. Since then, her reading, math, history, and science has excelled to my surprise. During this Michigan economy crisis, me and my family came to a financial situation. We came up to Mrs. D and told her that we would no longer be able to send Brianna here, but she said she wouldn't have it. So we come up with a way to keep her here. So during that, I volunteered my time to come clean, keep the school clean, and give this my effort and time to show my appreciation for them letting her to continue to stay here.
We've taken them and waited for the state to kick in. Other daycares may not have made that same decision for them. So there's a lot of outreach that we're doing here for a lot of people that are in need.
Hi, my name is Pastor Jeff Davidson. I am the pastor of Faith Community Church and one of the head principals of Faith Christian Academy. We do a number of things for the community here. Our building, and I'm not complaining, I'm grateful for it, is in rather disrepair. We desperately need a gym for our boys and girls, many of them from the inner city of Detroit who are brought out here on a daily basis. We need a gym for those kids to be able to play. Right now, the back of our sanctuary serves as their gymnasium. We get broken lights quite often, and the kids get a little rambunctious as kids can. And we have a very desperate need for a gym facility.
About a year ago, I applied for a grant, hoping that we would be able to have a play yard. The state came in and ruled the structures that I had to take them out. The grant was denied because we were not a brand new church, and so that hope went away. And the problems continue to mount. The roof that's over the daycare center is actually very flat, and oftentimes it's like a pool, and it collects water, and you get one leak fixed and another leak comes, and one tile pops off of the ceiling and then another tile pops off of the ceiling. And I have nobody in place, because we're working with the skeleton crew, to actually be a janitor. So I run around trying to get people within the church to volunteer to come up and, you know, lay some tar on the roof, or to put up a tile back on the ceiling, or to run downstairs and check our boiler to make sure why we don't have heat on a certain day, or what's going on, or our water. So I'm all the time feeling like I'm scrambling all over the place, trying to keep this old building up to where it needs to be so that I can pass all the inspections that need to happen. And that's how it is.